I think it's only like 8 o'clock in the morning or something like that. I've been up since like this camera's way zoomed in. Been up, I think, since like 5 or something like that. I don't even know. Gotta pick my wife up at the airport today. But this is a behind the scenes kind of thing here. This is where there's like a lot of I think like planning, a lot of swapping things around, a lot of just like trying to figure stuff out. KTMJ, what's going on, guy? RC Master, what's happening? Lorne, what's going on, man? Good morning to you. Somebody had oh, I gotta set up my own stuff here. I literally just did a quick pop on live. I was going to throw it on the other channel, but I didn't. And then I figured I almost should have thrown it on the other channel because current live stream. Don't forget those ads. You're getting a face full of eyes right now. So this is a behind the scenes thing here. Just kind of showing you that, you know, if you think that anybody's, you know, perfect in this world of figuring things out, I'm definitely not anywhere near any of that. It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of thought trying to figure out placement. But I think the reason why I'm popping this on was somebody had mentioned that I can't hold a candle to Earl's channel. And like I said, everybody's welcome to their own opinion. And the thing is I'll actually agree with that guy. See, Earl has a different mindset. He's a mechanic. He's a master mechanic. He's beyond what a lot of you people know what Earl actually is. So someone like me that's just a hack that pushes a broom and rakes leaves for a living. So someone like me, you know, I'll take like a car like this. This is the DB Pro, and I'll try to like figure out what's going to be the best placement of things. It's a lot of times it also has to do with trying to save a buck. Now, I think inherently, just in the way I was brought up was, and same thing with the other guy. Sometimes you're brought up and you really don't have money. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I was a single child. I'll get into personal stuff. I was a single child raised by, you know, a single mom kind of deal. I was the only son. No, I was not, what's the word? Spoiled. But that's because, but my mother did the best that she could. And I think I turned out pretty all right. So, but going into this car, I have that mindset in myself, saving money all the time. So extending the life of the gears in the front differential for this DB Pro, should I have just went out and spent, you know, $100 on gears? Well, no. Yes. It's both answers. So should I go spend the $100 on gears? Yes. To keep this thing in top running form, absolutely 100%. That's the way to go. But I would like to try to extend as far as this thing can go to save a buck, to save myself maybe from that eventual spending of $100 for gears. Now, can that be a negative? Absolutely, because as things start to wear, as you try to shim things out, you change a lot of things. You put pressures in areas, you can possibly cause yourself more money later. But I've also always been that guy that I'll just pay for it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, hammer fist to the bench and just go, damn it. I'm just gonna have to pay more money. But I've lived that life, and it served me very well. So, why am I paying so much attention right now to this DB Pro? Because this thing is awesome, man. As far as an open wheel buggy 110 scale platform that's like this one right here, this is my most favorite RC. Like, it's the one that I would rather gravitate. Now, people like, oh, Guy, what about the Big Rock and, Sentin and stuff like that? And, the 2.0 that I've got, kicking under my feet right here. They're all cool. They're all cool. But this Losi gives you, I think it gives you a certain amount of performance that the Big Rock is forgiving. The Sentin is forgiving, but the Losi is giving you a certain amount of performance that those cars never will give you, and also longevity. Now, this car right here quite possibly could be the most driven RC out of my fleet, with the exception of maybe my T-Max, because originally when I got that T-Max, I drove the crap out of that thing. And that we're talking like, a long time ago when I bought that RC. But when I got it, that was, at that point in time, that was the only RC that I had. And my dogs are playing behind my back. Oh, can this zoom in? Oh, it can. It doesn't focus well, though, does it? Whoa! That was scary. Yeah, so the T-Max, man, I drove the crap out of that thing. But anyways, the Arrma Big Rock is it an awesome vehicle? Yes, but if you've noticed, when I talk about those 3S line of vehicles, I do say at what cost, and I'm trying to be careful with that because, again, it's that price point. Not everybody can, go out and get one of these DB Pros, because these things are not cheap. And then if and when you do break something, that's also not cheap, because especially with Losi, if let's say you break like a shock rod end, you're buying you're buying all the ends for everything when it comes to Losi. So, and I thought that was funny because Earl discovered that when he crashed I think he crashed his 2.0, the DB 2.0 that he's got, the XL version. When he crashed it, I think all he did was break. I don't think he actually broke the metal rod end. I'm fairly confident that all he did was break just the actual plastic end. And when he went to go, buy stuff online, he was hoping to just get, like maybe a pack of couple links. Well, that wasn't the case. He had to go ahead and buy the entire set that came with all brand new, rod ends. So I think he paid, like, in the end, because of, what he had to pay, I think that was a $400 fix. He might have broken like an arm too or something like that. I can't remember. But with Arrma, if you want to buy, like a set of arms, you're buying just a set of arms and that's it. You're not buying like another whole RC. And the prices are relatively cheap. But with Losi, you've got to pay that price. It's like buying a Jaguar. I only say Jaguar because I have one. You've got to pay the more expensive price for those parts if you're expecting things to last. If you buy like a Toyota Corolla or whatever, I don't even know, man. Maybe Toyota prices are up there too now. But, in the past, when you bought the least or less expensive vehicle, you would hope to spend the less expensive price when you went to the auto parts store. And that seemed to be the case. If you went to the dealer, forget it. You were emptying out your wallet. But like I found that, like parts for the Jaguar, some parts you can literally only get through the dealer, and you're gonna pay. So all this was and this is all the behind the stuff scenes that you don't see. What the heck was that? This is all the behind the scenes stuff that you don't see. It's my wife giving me. So I am going to be ending this live at some point, but this is going to be like some of the behind the scenes that this just had to make sure where the camera was. Again, this is behind the scenes stuff that you don't. What if I flip this? See, I messed this up when I put this in. So this is the behind the scenes stuff that maybe when I do a video or whatever that you don't get to see, because I edit or cut some of the stupid stuff out, which was why, like in the last video that I did, I tried to cut out all the ahs and ams and so's and all that stuff, because I realized for some reason in that video there was a lot of them, and it's those filler words. So, well, like I just said, so, but so I'm just gonna show you a couple things. I was balancing out the vehicle, so I just can't get away from it. So if you watch my videos, there's going to be arms and so's. I'll try to cut out as many as I can throughout a video, but I think I need like those filler words. It helps my mind catch up, or helps my mouth catch up with my mind. Where was I? So I four-corner balanced the car out. I took the electronics out, saw, where the vehicle was heavy, threw the motor in, saw where the weight was, started to figure out, okay, if I've got extra weight on this side, where do I want to counterbalance that? And I have, I think, found like an odd way or an odd thing of how this thing was balanced. Now I have changed out. I'm going to switch over to the back side camera, but I am going to jump into chat real quick just to say hello to everybody. So we've got, who was first here? KTM was first. We got RC Master. Lauren is here. Dexter, what's going on, guy? Aaron, what's going on, man? Dalton, what's happening? Dan, what's going on? Carlos, Chris, Earl is more than just a movie mechanic, man. Earl is a master tech. But even it goes beyond that. RCU next Tuesday. What's going on Tuesday? I should just call you Tuesday. Your name is too hard to say sometimes. RCU next Tuesday. Twisted, what's going on, guy? Yeah, everything's going good. I got to pick my wife up at the airport today. She was visiting her parents. Lindsay, what's going on? Let's see. Thomas. Green Frog, what's going on, guy? Good morning to you. I like that. Freddy's never too old RC fun, dude. That's actually a pretty curious, because you said that. What's your age? Freddy's never too old RC. That's kind of cool. Jay Boogie, what's going on, guy? Let's see. Sam and Sarah, what's going on, guy and girl? William, what's going on, man? C Stone, what's happening? Shane, what's going on, guy? Kevin Porter, how's it going? From Blackpool, England, man. Still, sometimes, I think I'm slowly getting used to it, and for me, I think it's cool that, like, how is it right now? You're in my house. You know what I mean? Like, you're in England, Blackpool, England, and I'm in your house, or you're in my house, however it works. Maybe I'm in your house. I don't know. But I four-corner balanced, and I went the cheap way, but these scales that I use are very accurate. It's not a all-in-one thing, but I can also double use the scales for other things if I want to weigh like other stuff. So I've got some things going on. I wanted to show you where I am with the DB Pro right now. I am going to perform something that's called blasphemy. So this is called blasphemy right here. So when you take apart from another, and this is, I mean, you can't really call this a part. I mean, you can. It is a part, but it's not like a part. It's not like I'm throwing an axle from an Arrma inside the Losi. I'm using the battery box because the battery box it's a good battery box. It's got a good seal. It's got the antenna thing, on it. And that's what I needed for this right here. Now, while this might be a new filler word too. So, this receiver right here, while it may be waterproof, water resistant, whatever's going on, it is starting to show, if you look through the backside, if I could focus on that, it is starting to show, no, I'm not seeing any, and what's crazy is, how is this thing waterproof? Like what, or water resistant? I wash all my RCs, and this is the only vehicle that I've got other than my speed car, because my speed cars, at least that car right there, that one. No, not that one. Where is it? Where's my speed? Oh, right there. So that car right there, which, that one, that's my Hobao. Whoa. That's my speed car. So that's my first speed car. Why is this thing still zoomed in? Did I mess it up? I don't know what I'm doing here. There we go. That's the only other vehicle I think that has a receiver that's hanging out in the open. Everything else is pretty much in some type of a box to keep it dry, to keep it from getting crusty, or not rusty, but corrosion, whatever. And this is a pretty good size receiver. So I was having a hard time trying to figure out, because this alone, you could find, places all day long on this chassis to go ahead and fit this little receiver. Well, not little receiver, this honking receiver. But I did find that it does fit inside this Arrma thing here, just like that. But the only issue, I think all right, maybe I won't be using this box. Oh, dang, you know what? I can't use this box. Now, see, this is the stuff that happens. Now, off camera, which I'm on camera right now, off camera, I grabbed this box, and I literally was like, all right, how can I fit this in here? And I was like, oh, sweet, fits in. Yeah, it fits, but the wires aren't going to fit, because the wires won't sink down far enough. So this battery box may be a no-go. Because see, what I'm worried about, oh, you know what? Maybe it will. Never mind. It does fit. See, all this stuff that's on camera right now is the stuff that, anybody and everybody struggles with when you're trying to modify things, change things out. There's so much to think about. You got to figure out how you're going to channel your wires. You got to figure out, because you don't want, obviously, your wires getting wrapped up on the drive shaft. You don't want things to be misbalanced so much that when the car that, like this one right here, I'm taking a vehicle that made me feel like a better driver. This DB Pro, and I'm probably say this for anybody, if you have the chance to ever drive one of these things or buy one of these things or whatever, if you can afford it, buy it. This thing, every single time I drive this car, this thing makes me feel like a better driver than I am. And I don't know if that's a benefit or a drawback, because this thing drives so well with, and I don't drive it with, can't show it with this one. Yeah. Well, I have is the AVC off? Yeah. The AVC, or the assisted, driving, assisted steering, I usually do not drive with that on. But I did find that with that Traxxas slash thing there, the 4x4 VXL thing, man, the TSM on that works mint. The difference between that and the Sentin, wow. Like, I mean, I noticed a massive difference with how that thing drove. And I think on the Traxxas, didn't I shut the TSM off? Something? Let me see. I think I shut it off, right? Yeah, the multifunction. I shut it off. And I started to lose control of the RC, and I was just like, nah, I'll just squeak it on just a bit. Well, apparently this battery box is going to work. Yay! I'm glad, because for some reason I was thinking it wasn't going to fit. But it does. Look at that. Why was it? You know what I'm saying? So why was I putting that in there thinking it wasn't going to fit? But anyway, yeah, that's actually going to fit mint. So with all the wires in there, well, not all the wires. There's so many wires in that thing. I'll be able to stuff the wires in there somehow, keep that receiver, you know, down inside this box right here. And I'll be able to have the antenna tube, which I think is pretty important. At least I thought for me it was pretty important. I got to figure out how I want to have this in here, though. Oh, that's why I didn't think it was going to fit. Because I had stuffed it in kind of at a weird angle. Yeah. So it's all in how you place this receiver in here is what's going to help make those things fit. So, and pulling that little piece out. But anyways, I think I was saying somebody had mentioned I can't hold or RC guy can't hold a candle to Earl's channel. Well, I will hold Earl's candle for him if he ever needs help. And I don't mean like help like working on anything. I'll literally hold his candle. I'll hold his flashlight for him because that's about as much use as I am to somebody like that. But so you can see that wire is going to go in there, but it doesn't look like it's going to make it over to the thing anyway. So, but at least this is going to be, what the heck is that? Dan, Guy, coffee time. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. So at least now I know this is going to work. But I'm going to show you what I've been working on. So, and this has been since, like I said, I got up at like 5:30 or something like that. You know, it's the time that I usually, you know, open my eyes. You know, those internal alarm clocks that, you know, some of us have that some of us don't have. And I started to take off the body. And then I realized, you know, I might as well just go on a COVID and coffee and give a behind the scenes of at least as much as I can and show you what I've already done. Now, this is going to do two things. This is also going to show you the battery tray that I've got in this, which I 100% recommend. Can you figure out another battery tray? Absolutely. But if you buy this battery tray, it's going to give you the straps you need. It's going to give you, you're going to be cutting and modifying the tray. You're going to be throwing away half of it, technically a third of it. You're going to be throwing away a third of it. You're going to be making it useless for the vehicle that it was intended for. But the way the battery tray fits in this car, like I was joking, it's as if this thing was made like for this car. And I think that's cool that sometimes you can cross-platform things. Now, I say I feel like it was made for this car, meaning the way I installed the battery tray and the very minor modification that I did to it seems to just fit. In my mind, this is a fit. This works mint, and I've tested it to the point of where it does not go anywhere. Yeah. So enough of all this crap. I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to show you my secrets. It's no secret. I'm just going to basically just show you what I've done. And I definitely recommend, you know, if this is the route you want to go, this literally may be a win, because everything that I have seen so far with balance, I have changed the way this car is now balanced, and I don't get it. somehow with the way with the way this thing has now balanced out, it's actually even more centrally balanced than the way the car was originally. Now I still have to figure out wiring, so I'm just going to switch the camera around and show you what I'm working with. Let's show you what I'm working with here. All right. So this is my DB Pro. Obviously, I didn't move like the motor. I'm not going to do something like that, but the motor that I had, the bearing took a dump. So this SPEKTRUM motor, this is that 3150 kV motor. It's a whole bunch of, letters with the 1000 at the end. 3150 kV motor. And because of my lack of maintenance and because of my lack of care and the way I treat my vehicles, I mean, I guess you could say that the bearing took a dump. And I'm not surprised. I'm not upset by that. Am I upset by these motors taking dumps? Yes. These motors within 3 battery packs, these 3200 kV SPEKTRUM motors, within 3 battery packs for me, the bearing is already wasted. And at that point in time, I'm not even washing the RC yet. So for that bearing to go out that fast, I think it's pretty well known that those things are garbage. So what I did do is I changed out, and I was actually right. So, and I can't figure out for the life of me why, but the bearings that I did replace initially in these cars, these are hybrid ceramic bearings. So these TRB 120135, this particular bearing, which is a 5x16x5, is designed for this SPEKTRUM 3200 motor, and this is a ceramic hybrid. So it has a metal shield on one side, and it has a rubber shield on the other. Metal obviously goes inboard, rubber or this plastic, whatever you want to call it, goes outboard to seal out contaminants. The bearing that I ended up ordering for this is a hybrid seal. It's not a ceramic. So is that really going to make a huge difference? No, it's not. These are RC cars that we're not, well, at least I'm not a racer. I don't need like that extra like millisecond to come across the finish line because, my, motor is able to turn, an extra kV faster because it's less friction. None of that for me matters. It never has. You just run what you run, and if you find something cool, use it. So all this tech is cool, but I don't know if it's really that necessary. So what I've done is I've made use of, I'm a kind of a semi-stickler about certain things. So you got to really, and this is only held in half. So initially I had my battery tray set towards the back. ESC was set towards the front in its factory location. But for some strange reason, unless I absolutely have to, I do not like drilling holes in anything. It's not that I can't. It's not that I can't countersink. I would just rather not. I would like to try to make use of... Sounded like my house phone. I'd like to try to make use of what's already existing. Now, the ESC initially, the ESC was here. It was up on a pedestal. That was definitely 100% better than locking it down to the frame because it's doing a couple of things. It's giving it a very slight amount of shock protection, and I mean very slight. So it's giving it a very slight amount of shock protection, but it's solidly mounting the ESC down. Now, in one of my other videos, I used the double-sided, this stuff. I used this to lock down one of my ESCs, but I think the ESC is just such a tank that with the abusive driving that the car went through, this stuff actually didn't hold up. Now, it could have been, I don't know, it could have been something else, but this stuff is extremely strong when it's locked in. This is that dual lock. Extremely strong when it's locked in, but it's not saying that this won't come apart, because it did. I think it was that Max 6 that I've got. I think it was a Max 6 that I have. And that came loose, and that was in my Hobao, what the heck was that thing? Hyper SST or something like that. Or it's the caged buggy. So on this, I'm going to take off this part. So what had happened was I was going to take this off, and I was like, you know what, I should just go live. So I'm just going to pop this off, because the thing about the flip up body is that it gets in the way when you're working on something. So that's the only thing that I don't like about the flip up body, but that's about it. The flip up body is mint, but it's only 2 screws just to pop it off, so it's no big deal. Steering wise, give you a look into that. So steering wise, everything has been cleaned up. I was getting, my steering was starting to act like a dog. And what I was thinking was, maybe it was the servo. It still could be. I still have not electrified it, but the servo itself still sounds good, but it could be this servo is going out. Now, initially that was my thought, but then I discovered that I had binding on this, Ackerman arm or Ackerman arm, whatever you want to call this. The rod that goes in between the 2 towers. So one side's the servo saver, the other side's the slave. So in between these, I started having this side right here. It could have been from factory, but it wasn't seated down all the way. Now that also goes to show you that over time, you should, and which I don't do, you should just go in and kind of give things a tweak and give things a little bit of a check. And I want to show another thing that happened with this car that I didn't realize until I got to this point here when I was taking things apart. Because for me, I don't usually work on something unless something is broken or if I'm starting to really notice something. Now, right here, this is something that I've come across before with these. And it is lack of care or lack of, so what do you mean rotate my device? So right there. So I'm zoomed in. Yeah, I'm not zoomed in. Wait a minute. So right there. Can you see anything? Other than rust, do you see anything funny with that fastener versus that fastener? Now see how that fastener looks? And then see how that fastener looks? So what I found out was that fastener is loose. So that was giving me, in my opinion, that was giving me extra slop. Also that Ackerman arm, however you want to pronounce it, has a kind of a bushing. It's more like a sleeve. I think maybe you can call it a bushing. It's just a piece of steel. It's a piece of steel. It's coated with black, not even paint. It's just coated with some kind of black stuff. And the screw that was holding that in was popped up. So I think under pressure, when the vehicle has all its weight in it, it's got these big tires on it that are very grippy. These are not the tires that I recommend these tires, but these are a slightly different tire, and that's why in the link in the description, if you're looking to make your DB Pro look like this one and drive like this one, the link in the description below literally says DB Pro, I think, but it says tires or something like that. It gives 2 links to tires and 1 link to a company called Hobao. Now, I have found that it was just easy because I had the parts on hand. Took the hex, threw it on, realized, wow, now this thing fits mint. But if you want to get, a set of tires like this, or if you want to get the Traxxas ones, I've got a link to the Amazon thing there. I'll make a penny off of it. It won't cost you the extra penny. They just give me the penny for some reason. But if you buy off of that link, there's a little bit of a kickback. And the links are just provided so you can just click and just buy what you need. But you also have to buy the hex, unless you want to use some other hex. But I've gone through trying to fit other hexes, and because I had these ones on hand, these fit perfect. Now, Earl went through this process recently. He called me up. He's like, guys, I bought those stinking wheels that you said, but it's not working. What's going on? And I just said, well, you got to buy the hex. And I said, the link is actually below the tires. And he was like, damn it. Because, he's the kind of guy that, when he buys his parts, he wants to have all of it right then, right there, get the job done, which is another struggle that I have, because I'll take a car apart, I'll throw everything, and I'll show you. This is my disaster, okay? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. It could be 5. 4 cars that are currently apart that are in different stages of me working on it. And I'm going to pan the camera over so you can see what I'm talking about. This is the disaster of my life, man. But like I've said, it works for me. So, right there. I got that paper plate, which has got probably about, 3 cars worth of parts. 2 different diffs. So those two diffs are not the same vehicle. So I probably took one paper plate and just threw it onto the other. The other paper plate's behind there. That's another car. The other paper plate under that, that's another car. So trash bag. Right. So, yeah. My organization is definitely not for everybody, but it does work for me. I've got a general idea of, and when I organize, that's usually when I lose stuff. So I'll think I'm organized, and what happens is I'll throw for some reason, I just like to have everything in arm's reach. I just feel it's easier. Is that whole section right over here a clutter pile? Yeah, it is. But I know, basically, in my mind, I remember placing it over there. I'm more of a just throw it over there kind of guy. I ain't got time to waste, every day. We got to look at it this way. For me, because of my age, every day I'm that one day closer to death. So I ain't got the time to go putting stuff away. I know something's over there. I mean, who knows? Maybe if I put stuff on pegboards and organize stuff, but I just don't have the time, man. I just, when I'm done with a job, just take all my tools, throw them in the back of my truck, and then leave them out in the rain, because I ain't got no time to, when I come home, then take all the crap out of my truck. It's I just don't. I just don't care. Just don't care, guys. Just don't care. So, all these things, I feel, combined, made it so this servo is being overworked. Now, you got to figure the original size tires that were on this DB Pro are like half the size almost. So, there's a lot of extra force that this servo is trying to do, and I've heard people say that these servos are junk. I mean, this seems like it's working fine. I also realized that I was starting to get a little bit of contamination on these towers. So on these towers here for the servo or for the steering, I started getting contamination on there. Now this bar, I took it and I cleaned it up. I took all the rust off, and I just put the smallest little drop of oil. Now, I'm not recommending you do what I do, because a lot of times, sometimes the stuff I do is just not what somebody else will do. So when I even took all this stuff apart, before I put everything back together, I took and I used shock oil. I use a 20 weight shock oil. Why? Because I'm not going to use this 20 weight shock oil on anything. So before I put the top bushings in, I took a couple drops or a drop of oil and dropped it down and in. And then I took the bushing on the bottom. This was before I had the steering parts on. Took the bushing on the bottom and just kind of, rode it up and down, just make sure it was nice and smooth. Then I wiped off the excess, threw on the steering parts before I put this bushing in. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I lied again. When I put this bushing in, I took a drop of oil. Why is it doing that? I took a drop of oil and just put it around this section here. And I actuated the steering. So just to try to, get the oil down and in. And so far, everything now has been ultra smooth. Now, I do have to obviously, fix that fastener right there. That's a big one. But anyways, so getting back on this, and see what I'm saying? These lives are different because this is basically just showing you, what I do. This ESC is now maybe not a factory location. I didn't have to drill any holes. I will have to countersink one screw, but that's only if I want it to be flat with the chassis, and I probably will, because if I don't, what will happen is as the car drives and slams on the ground, that one fastener is going to erode away. It's not necessarily going to get caught on things. It's just going to be grinded down, and it's going to get to a point to where I probably won't be able to take the fastener out. So that's also why, certain... What do you need? You need to go out. You're being such a wine bag. You're going to stand right at the door. As soon as they let you out, you're just going to turn around and stand there, right? Yeah. You're just going to stand there and look at me. Just be outside then. Controlled madness. Bill, you know it, guy. Absolutely controlled madness. So where was I? I don't even know where I was. My dog distracted me. Oh, countersinking. So I'm going to flip the chassis over, show you what I did. So you can see that's the factory mount. It's at an angle, which is mint. Everything about what's going on here, I don't know, man. What do I say? Sometimes I've said it kind of like this. Come on. Go ahead and press the button. Sometimes I say the stars align. And when the stars align, it's almost as if it was made for it. And while I've done like a whole bunch of other stuff that you didn't see, and that's what I'm saying, man, I was trying to figure out doing this. I really wanted to have the ESC here. I was being locked in. All right, I got to have the ESC on here. I tried to put the ESC over here, but then I was like, oh, crap. If I try to put the ESC over here, because this is an offset drive line, the rear end is offset. It's on the side. It's an offset drive shaft. If I put the ESC here, it won't fit. So it wasn't going to work. And I was going to put like, see, this is the stuff, man. Before I even put this receiver in here, I was like, oh, I got an Arrma battery box. Oh, not battery box. See, that's how old I am. I still call these battery boxes. Man, that's how old I am, man. I'm shaking. But I was like, oh, cool. I'll be able to put the receiver box over here. And, that'll be mint and, whatever. But then I started checking the scales and I tried weighting things. And I realized the ESC wasn't going to fit there. And I was like, oh, crap. Looks like I'm going to be stuck to sticking here. Thinking like I was locked down to not being able to move the battery tray. And I realized, oh, I can just shift the battery tray forward. And if you look at this battery tray, right? See how it's got like these angles? See this angle right here? See how it's got that angle right there? Where is it? Right there. You can actually see, well, I didn't finish cutting it. I'm realizing it now, but you can see I actually shaved, and I got to finish cutting it there. Never mind. You can see that I actually shaved the double-sided, whatever it is they had, the dual lock or ultra lock, whatever that stuff's called. But I angled it, and there was a reason why. And the reason why I liked, having that, now having this in this location, because of this center brace, how do I explain this, man? Fitting here, the battery tray seemed to fit perfect. So in my mind, I was locked in. I had to figure out, how could I twist the receiver? Can I, without drilling a hole, can I mount something? I even took it and I mounted it to this hole, and I was like, all right, well, the other attachment point was like half on this little notch section. So obviously this is, weight savings and whatever, airflow, who knows. The fastener was like half on, half off. And I was like, all right, well, I could cut a washer and I could step it up, or I could notch out this, or I was overthinking things. So then I saw a hole on the back side of here. So I'll flip this over. I saw 2 holes. And they're filled right now. Yeah, I think I just lost my steering. So this hole right here is the same as this hole right here, which I think are the locator tabs for the original battery tray. So the original standoffs, or battery standoffs, were 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And this right here was the original ESC mounting screws, or original ESC mounting location. These holes right here, which are not countersunk, are for the little locator. So it's like a little piece of plastic that locates locates the little end pieces. So this one right here, I'm gonna have to countersink, but look at the holes perfectly aligned. So all I'll have to do is countersink this hole right here to make it like these, and then this screw will sink down in and I won't have an issue. I mean, I'm going to do it just because, but I won't have an issue with this screw ever getting caught, which it's not gonna, unless I rain on carpet or something, but it's not going to get caught. But it would be countersunk, and it would also make it so that when I went to finally take it off again, I'm not going to have to use an easy out to get it out. Which put I just lost all my pots. It put the ESC at an angle, which that goes there, that goes there. And the bushing right there. It put the ESC at an angle, which is totally meant. I'm fine with that, because what I had done is I took my battery tray and I had stuck it this way, moved it forward, realized that I just needed to shave off a little bit of this, double-sided stick tape, placed it forward, which I'll throw on the scales again once I go to do it. Put that down. The dual lock, once I put another strip, which is going to extend this way, and I may even do a strip, like I see how I have it striped this way. It was because this was in a different car. So it was striped this way because I had it in a different car. Then I realized, okay, I just do a center stripe. It'll still hold. What I may do is I may take a piece, stick it on here like I normally do. And then once I position, I might not. Once I position this down in, then I can go ahead and lock it in. Now, see, this is what I'm thinking right now. What I'm thinking right now is, and that, see what I'm saying, man? This is how my mind thinks. I'm all over the place. So you would never want like a unedited video from me, because I'll say one thing and then all of a sudden I change my mind in midstream and go, that ain't gonna work. And that would make for a horrible video. So now what I realized, Monster Jam guy, thank you. Appreciate it. How's it going? It's going awesome. Got to pick up my wife from the airport today. Definitely appreciate that super chat. That's awesome. Thank you very much. I'm going to put it towards the drill fund. I'm going to get one of those. I think I'm going to get, it's either going to be the, I like the rigid products. And Rigid has a compact series. And here's another thing that people don't know. I think it's Rigid's Octane, or Rigid has a line of tools that they came out with. And this is where my son is pretty smart and he's into all this stuff because, you know, he's a full-blown mechanic. I believe the Rigid, and I think he said the Milwaukee, I believe that's what he said, on this one specific item comes from the same factory. Unfortunately, for Milwaukee, the Rigid tool is better, which is crazy. So, Rigid discontinued, it's an impact gun. Rigid discontinued that because Milwaukee was pissed. Because Milwaukee's the top dog. So the Rigid line, which is the underdog, even though their tool was better, Milwaukee said, no, that ain't happening here, guy. We're going to charge our premium prices. You ain't going to undercut us and give them a better tool. So, anyways, I don't even know what I'm talking about. So within that midstream, I'm going to take the dual lock, and I am now going to extend it further so I can go ahead and place this tray here. And what I was saying was that when you look at the way the brace is, look at the brace. So now the battery tray and the brace and everything are kind of like even that much more interlocked. Even this edge that's right here literally conforms and rides up to the profile of this battery. Like, I mean, it couldn't get any more better. It couldn't get, like, you know, I'm like a master designer here now because of that. And that's not even me doing it. It's me just messing around and trying to figure out what works. Even the motor plate. So look at the motor plate. The motor plate butts right up against the edge of the battery tray, which is the strongest point of that battery tray. Right there. So, like I was saying, it's, what is it? My channel is all guesswork and smoke and mirrors. It's literally just trying to hack something together. And 7 times out of 10, it works. And the other 3 times, it goes back on deck and I'll figure out something else. But, so here's where I was. So on this DB Pro, where I was okay. I felt like I was, you know, committed to battery tray here. You can see I'm already committed to, this is where my ESC location is going to be. And it goes beyond this. God, when I tell you the stars align on how things happen sometimes, it goes even beyond this now because, now let's see. Yeah, I'm still right. When I put the receiver here, I initially, because of I do have a certain amount of OCD. So initially I'm like, I can't have that thing crooked like that. That's not going to be right. And sometimes when you have an OCD, it's hard to fight with yourself, or you have to fight with yourself because in your mind, you're like, you know, and my daughter has the same OCD, right? And this is the funny part. So in a vehicle, right? Nowadays, when you turn the volume up on your vehicle, it's a digital display. It's usually on the dash or whatever, and it'll show you what the number of the volume is. Okay? So my daughter, her OCD is similar to mine. You need to have things be symmetrical. You need things to be in pairs. You need numbers to be aligned. So let's just say you put up the volume. You put it up to 13. My daughter, and she's normal. She's just like her dad, normal, are kind of normal, she has to reach over and take that volume button and either more times than not, put it up to 14 or down to 12. She can't leave it at the 13. It would bug the crap out of her. And I think in my truck, one of the vehicles or one of the radios that I had did half numbers. So let's say it was like 15 and a half or 14 and a half. So if I turned up the volume and it landed on, say, 16, I would torture my daughter and put it to the half because I knew she would go like that and look to see if the volume was on an even number. It can't be an odd number because that's odd man out. It had to be on an even number. It couldn't be on the 0.5. It had to be the full number, but it had to be even. And I'm not saying my daughter's a lunatic. She's not. Yes, she is. She's my daughter. Of course, we're both lunatics. My son is kind of the same way too. Overly trying to be a perfectionist. And that's kind of part of it. Throwing the ESC in there, I was like, oh, it's sideways. It's going to kill me. But then, let me show you. This is the madness, man. This is the madness. But then, when I was thinking that the receiver box wasn't going to work or whatever, I don't know what happened. Oh, actually, this was before the receiver box. Then I grabbed the receiver and I was like, oh, wait a minute. I can put either the receiver this way and be straight and pile the wires underneath. And if I pile the wires underneath, I'll never see the wires. And that'll give it a clean install. That was the mindset that I had then. Then I was like, well, wait a minute. Then maybe I could do that. Maybe I could have the receiver be on the same angle, and that would look mint. And it didn't stop there because when I turned the ESC straight, I ran into what I call a body conflict. Okay. So if you look at the back side of this body, it's tapered in. Tapered in for the look. It's tapered in for the protection. It's tapered in for aerodynamics. It's all of those things all together. When you switched over from a 2S battery to the 3S battery posts, the keepers, it bumped up the battery tray. But what it did also was made it so that when you would go put the top down, this section right here, it was either here or here, I think it was here, would get caught on the body. And with my OCD, it bugged me. It was like, man, how come they didn't just squeak the battery a little bit forward so that didn't happen? Well, they just didn't. Maybe they intended this vehicle in reality to only be ran on 2S. And if you think about it, if everybody did that, this vehicle would last even longer if you only ran it on 2S. Now I went beyond that and I ran it on 3S like right away. Ran it on 2S. I was like, this is great. It's a performer, but I need more. So I would always have to flick the body. Like it became a routine. When I'd flip the thing down, I'd automatically have my finger there to pull the body out and flip the top down. Well, if I was to have the ESC straight, this corner right here would be kicked out there, which would then conflict with the body. Well, guess what? Because this ESC is now at an angle, when the body is on, look at that. Zero stinking conflict. I don't have to mess with the body anymore. It flops down. It doesn't contact anything. It's protecting the ESC. It's protecting the wires. And that's what I mean when I say sometimes the stars like align. It's almost as if what I'm doing, because of the fact that I didn't want to wait, I just didn't want to wait. I wanted to get out. I wanted to get out and rip this thing. I didn't want to wait for the bearings. I already had a 50 kV motor more than this 3150. So the 30, this is a 3150. The other one's a 3200. So it's a 50 kV faster motor. Slightly less torque, but that's okay. I'm all right with that. This thing runs mint the way it is anyway. I don't think I'm going to have any heat issues. And if I do, I got a game changer fan that I can go ahead and throw back in there and attach it and just go. But just like those stupid, foolish little things that I'll talk to you guys on a live right now and show you, it's all the behind stuff, all the behind the scenes things that you do. Now, if you think that, I mean, I suppose it could be possible that somebody out there is such a mega genius that they just know that everything will fit in every possible way that they just throw something in. I think you're out of your mind if you think that that's the case. I know that's not that way for me, but maybe there is somebody out there that is perfect. I just haven't met that guy yet. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I have. I'll tell you, man. Earl is definitely a very big source of valuable information. Very valuable information. But like he said to me before, he's like, you learn it. You just learn it by doing it. There's countless times that, just working on anything that he does that, like, because he does obviously picture cars. So he's got to fabricate stuff, and it's not always the first run or first setup or first thing that he tries that's the hit. Sometimes it's putting something on, realizing there's a conflict. He's like, crap. You know what I mean? But he's done it long enough to where he's got a good handle on it. He's got a good gist of it. I'm just back into this game. So my game is not on, and it never will be. But anyways, let's see. What do we got here? So back to the stars aligning. So now this is going to be a perfect scenario. But then I was like, all right, well, if I have the ESC, if I have the receiver in that location and just put a strip of this, and I literally was getting, this is how close I was to mounting this here. You see, I got the dual lock out. See how the dual lock's in this shape? Well, when I'm not using it, I usually have it like this, and I have an elastic band around it, and it's sitting in that thing right there, so I don't lose it. So I do organize certain things. I got my antenna tubes in there, got my zippy ties in there, and I throw my dual lock in there. And so there's some organization. Look at that. We've got PB Blaster, brake clean. I got my fire juice. I got my fire stick. I got my thread lock, the Q-tips. So there is, in my life, a little bit of organization. I mean, come on. Look at, I got my motor sitting over there. A little bit of organization. Oh, my batteries. I got my batteries there. I got my collectible drinks right there. So at times there is organization. But then as you pan, you realize, oh yeah, not so much. Oh, why'd they have to put that drink right in front of my face? Oh, that looks delicious. Oh, no, now they're talking about food. All right. Let's see. Come on. Where are we here? All right. So I was so close to just taking, because here I cleaned off the back. I had to take the sticker off because the sticker is actually what failed this last time. Sticker came away, and I'm sure the water helped wash it off. But I took the sticker off. I prepped this surface, and I was literally going to take a strip of dual lock and stick it right there. But then I was like, you know what? But then what I had said in the video was I need to get this in some type of box. That's when I found this. And that's when just on the live just now, it's like, oh, the wires aren't going to fit. Yeah, guy, they will if you turn this thing the right way, which is this way or this way. How have I had it? I had this thing sitting in here like this, or somehow I had this thing sitting in here so the wires work. Eventually I'll figure it out. But then before that, I was like thinking I was going to use this box, thinking I could put it over here. And I was like, this is a good location. It's not as big as the ESC. It'll be out of the way. I can throw all my wires in it. And this is the way it's going to go. Because this box won't fit here, I was trying to think to myself, well, I could still put this box here. I could still put this box here. And this is before I actually fit this in here and figured out the wires. I could fit this box here. I could still put a little bit of dual lock right there. I could have the antenna tube. Well, no, I can't have the antenna tube. Well, maybe I could. I could drill a hole, stick the antenna tube up through there. I could put a piece of dual lock on this so it would be held down. Everything would be locked in, and that might even be something I still do. See what I'm saying? It's like all this extra blab, all this extra thinking. But if I mount it this way, you would think, well, then how are you going to get it out? Well, because it's on dual lock, if I never need to access it, you just take the dual lock off, and you can get to the battery box. Same thing with the battery. If I ever need to pop this off, it's just taking off the dual lock. Everything is now out of the way on this thing. So just going to extend the dual lock there. Be able to mount my tray depending upon, exactly how I want it, which is probably about there. So let's just say that's its permanent location. I'll just need to extend that strip of dual lock there. I could possibly take this receiver box. I might be able to mount it there. But then again, because this is such a bubble top, maybe it won't. And it won't. Look at that. So the stars aren't aligning for that. So it looks like the receiver box is going to end up going on that side right there. Somehow. I think. Colby? Come on, Colby. Where's Colby? He is probably waiting upstairs to come in because he's... Oh, there you are. Never mind, I was just about to call you an idiot. So like I said, these are the behind-the-scenes things. So that's permanent. This is permanent. That's already locked down. And I guess what's good about not putting the receiver box here or trying to fit something, which obviously that wasn't going to fit, is that I can still play around with weight. I could take that off. I could shift this back. You know what I'm saying? Shift it back. The switch, I plan on, I think, mounting the switch right there with some stick tape or dual lock or something like that. And that ain't going to work because the body's going to hit the switch. So maybe I'll just put a little strip of dual lock on this and then just stick it down right onto right there. And I can keep it at an angle so that my OCD doesn't freak out. Might put it this way. All depends. Maybe put it that way. Won't go there. Maybe like that. Maybe something like that. You know? That way there's plenty of room to get a finger in there to be able to, put that switch on and off. Do whatever I got to do to it. The ESC wire is definitely plenty long to go wherever I wanted to go. I mean, if I wanted to mount the receiver box In the bumper, I guess I could with how long that wire is. But yeah. So most of this is just like waste of time stuff that people just don't want to see. And then when I'm done, I can then just go through on a video and explain what I did and maybe briefly say, you know, I struggled with this here, tried to put the box here. I thought the receiver wasn't going to fit in here. You know, that whole thing. Kind of finish the story. But that's going to mount in there like that. So that's going to go like that. The chassis brace fits absolutely mint with that box being right there. So I did, you know, fit the chassis brace already. I lost the bushing. Come on, guy. Such a disaster. Yeah. So chassis brace. I fitted this already earlier. Even though the center brace isn't in, or the center diff isn't in, it doesn't matter. It already fit before. So I gotta go in this way. Then click that down. And see what happens, right? Having this in this location right here, it makes it so when I go to put in my 2S or my 3S pack, so this is the battery this battery right here. So the Ovonic series of packs, these Ovonic batteries, I have been so damn pleased with this company. I mean, the amount of batteries, Ovonic batteries that I have right now is growing. So this comes in a double pack. So, and this is just a 2S pack. So for you people that are running 2S, this battery might be the battery you want. It's an 80C pack, 2S, 5200 mAh. It's a beautiful, beautiful pack. Runs really well. I've got this pack right here, which is my 3S pack. This is also the 5200 milliamp Ovonic Rebel. It's a 60C pack. So slightly less punch, but I don't really honestly notice it. When I drove this pack, what did I drive this in? I think I drove this in the Sentin. Absolutely beautiful. 60C, perfect amount of juice, perfect weight. It made that thing fly or float through the air. So if you're considering maybe getting, you know, an Ovonic, whatever batteries right now, they are having a sale too. So I think it's their Thanksgiving sale. So I might even put a link in the description after this, but on the Facebook group, I posted a link. You throw 4 batteries in your cart and you'll get one of them for free. Obviously, the cheapest one is going to be the one that you get for free. That's with every company. But I think they're even having another sale, buy 2, get 1 free. So I think it's the same scenario. You might have to use like a code or whatever. I think it's like Ovonic thanks, or I don't even know. But just there's a link on the Facebook group to go ahead and get yourself these batteries. So that's what you're looking for. Oh yeah, battery placement. So even placing these batteries inside the DB Pro, and why I was saying this is like made for it, it just fits right in. Like, I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? Can't get any better. Now you could take this little plug, put that plug right inside the front of the battery tray. You can even I wouldn't strap down the front wires, but I'd strap down that secondary wire, and then look at even how far I almost tried to reverse plug that. Plugged in, you go ahead and strap down your connector. one's down, but strap in battery on this side. Probably strap that one first. That thing is locked in there. So I don't have to tell you. The way things sometimes work out, sometimes it works out just absolutely mint. 2S pack, same thing. Allows you to go ahead and, I mean, come on. And that even, look at the height of the pack is at the top of the tray. And this would just literally just lock it down even better. Sometimes. All right. Check it out. That's my wife right there. That's so funny. She's on the plane. Yes, honey, I did see you. I saw your message on my phone. So I don't have to leave. I mean, I'm not going to leave right now. You're not going to be in the airport until noon. That's so funny. I knew my wife was on. She checks up on me. See? You got to be careful. You got to be careful because you got a significant other. They're behind the scenes. So anyways, what do we got here? Here comes the pain. What's going on, guy? Why not put the receiver box in front of the battery box? Oh, why not do that? Weight, grams. So putting, and that's why I was saying, like, for some reason, it seems like altogether, this vehicle somehow is going to be, and it could mess everything up. Granted, it could mess everything up to what I'm used to. But throwing the battery box, the receiver, the bulk of the wires staying on that side. Here, let me show you. I'm not going to show you weights because that doesn't make any sense. That's a pain in the neck. But when I throw it on the scale, the way this car is weighted right now with a battery pack in it, battery shifted forward, ESC to the back, the vehicle has now become more centrally balanced, if you get what I'm saying. And just taking the receiver box with the receiver and a bulk of the wires, with the exception of this wire right here, there's still going to be wire in there, and placing it on that side is going to even further enhance the weight distribution of this vehicle. So what I'll do is I'll shift this all the way to the front as far as it will go. Like that. What's stopping it? Oh, those little, it's got those little things down there. It's not stopping it, but it's keeping it in locked in. That's kind of cool. Oh, look at that. You got to be kidding me. What? So these little tabs, those little pieces, those little nubs, when I place the box in, it locates it. It literally locates the box. And that's what I'm talking about sometimes when the stars align, man. What if it will work if I go the... No, see, it won't work if I go the opposite way because of that. Or will it? Will that nub be in the way? It won't work that way. Check that out. Those little nubs lock in to the triangle. Right there. See that triangle right there? Right there? Those nubs lock into the triangle. Does my wife have fans? That's funny. But there you go. That actually, it locks into that triangle and that triangle, I think. I don't know. It's locking into one of the triangles. But it's not going to matter because I'm going to put the dual lock on the bottom of this, so I'll probably end up nipping those off anyway. Or I'll just put the strip like that. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. I'll put the strip that way. You know what, though? The way the wires are... Actually, you know what? No, that actually I think might work. I don't know. I still got some thinking to do. Anyways. So that is where I am. That's where I am with this DB Pro. That's as far as I've gotten right now because obviously, you know, you got to do other stuff. I was helping my son move furniture yesterday, so I didn't do anything over here. But that's it. Mic 2. Nope, messed it up. Bam. So obviously you can see my wife is on the plane. She's on the plane. And I think I got to leave here. I'm going to leave here, I think, at 10:30. So I've got an hour. So I basically have an hour before I got to leave. So there's probably just a couple of things I'm going to do. But I just wanted to, you know, hop on, you know, do a little COVID and coffee and just kind of show you that behind the scenes of, you know, the thinking and making sure things fit and you don't have conflict and wires can be safe. Like that's a big one too, is making sure that, you know, when you go ahead and route your wires, that they're not going to somehow bump up and slam into drive cups or anything. So I still will have to mount things. I'll have to mount the center diff. It looks like the stars are aligning with this car. So that ESC being towards the back, the battery box being moved towards the front, the receiver actually getting to be put in a box now to be safe, the wires not being exposed and just in a zippy tie, the wires now being in a box. It's like everything about this is just going to work. It's just going to work. And that's what I'm happy about. And I could actually get rid of one wire if I wanted, if I didn't want to have lights. But I want to have lights. So I think this thing is pretty cool with lights. That light bar in the front. All right. So I think this is about it. We got 30 people. We got Lauren. We got Hanging with JD. Good morning. We got my wife. We got Here Comes the Pain. Dalton. Jeremy. You spent 3 hours organizing your new... Yeah, see, that's fun, though. That's different. Organizing a new toolbox. Why are you doing all these mods? DB Pros flies good the way it is. Why am I doing this? Because I want to drive it. And I think it's going to be better than what it was. And I think that's the discovery. Granted, I'm no designer, but I threw this on. I four-corner balanced this car. And the way it is setting up right now, don't even ask me why. I have no clue. The way this thing is setting up, the balance or the centrally located balance of this car is just that much better now. Could it totally screw up the handling of the car? I don't know. I'm not a designer. But I think this is going to work, though. I think this is going to work like mint. I think this is going to be, for me and my DB Pro, and that's the way I've got to say it, for your vehicles, that's what you want to do. But for me and my DB Pro, and this being my favorite RC, I think this is going to hopefully be an improvement. But I won't know until I try it. And because I'm putting stuff down with stick tape, I mean, I can reverse everything that I'm doing too. I can bring this thing back to stock. I can put everything back the way it was. I can take the stick tape and I can stick the receiver on the side of the servo and not have it get, wasted by, water because of the way I wash down my vehicles. That's the other thing you got to think of too. They're not expecting somebody like me to take a fire hose and wash down the vehicle because I just ran it through a bunch of crap. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, maybe they are, but I don't think they're expecting to the degree that I do, and then just let it drip dry or freeze outside overnight because we're down in the 30s now. Right? So maybe they are thinking that. I don't know. I just feel that I feel this mod that I'm doing, and I don't know, is this really modding it? It's changing it. So it is a type of modification. It's changing it. It's making the RC more mine. I've lived with how Losi designed it, and it is awesome. Makes me feel like I'm a better driver than I really am. But now's the time to, obviously you got the wheels and the hexes on there. That's a mint upgrade. I've shimmed out the diffs because the things are wasted and I don't feel like, buying new diffs. Yeah. This thing is this is what's great about this hobby. It's all it is. It's just a hobby. This isn't my life. This isn't my life by any stretch of the means. It's just a hobby. And why not, if you can, why not change things up and see what works? Now, if this becomes the better layout, if this becomes an even better driving RC, because now it's more centrally balanced, why wouldn't you want to do it? Unless it's going to totally throw out the suspension geometry and, what Losi designed. So, yeah, I think that's it. I think this is where I'm going to end this live stream. I think I've wasted your guys' time enough. And this was just giving you a behind the scenes in RC Guy Garage's shop, the thinking process that you guys don't get to see, that you don't get to hear. All the, damn it, all the, that's dumb. You know what I mean? That ain't going to work. It's all the things that, you can cut out of a video that I usually choose not to, because not that I want you to know that I'm an idiot, but it's just an RC car, man. You just do what you can. I apply that to everything that I do, and it's served me very well. So, yeah. So anyways, this is RC Guy Garage, the sweeper of dirt, the raker of leaves. And I am just here working on my DB Pro, hopefully sharing something that maybe somebody else might want to do. This battery tray definitely allows you to fit larger packs in it. I mean, you could even further modify this by cutting the back side of the tray off, and you can fit a 9,000 Z pack in it, maybe. I don't know why you'd want to do that. That's like a 10-pound battery. But it's just, I don't know, man. It's just sharing. It's just saying, hey, before I try this out, this is what I'm going to do, and pray for me. Pray for me that it works. I think it will. Based upon what my eyes see, what my mind is thinking, like I said, my mind doesn't think like everybody's. Based upon everything that I'm seeing, this is going to be a win. And I almost feel like this thing is going to now perform even better. That is what I feel, man. I don't know why, but I do feel that this thing is going to perform better now. I could be totally wrong. And I'm prepared to, pay that. I'm prepared to pay that price of being totally wrong. I'm okay with that. But come on. When things just seem to align better than factory, heck yeah. You definitely do it. You try it. So don't be afraid to step out of that box of, doing stuff like I did. Don't be afraid to step out of that box, because the receiver actually might fit with the wires and the plugs. All right. RC challenge is going on, guy. Just working on the DB Pro. Just trying to give a behind the scenes of my videos, the struggles that, you know, you encounter or I encounter. Realizing that sometimes, like I say, sometimes the stars align and it's almost as if it should have been this way, kind of, sort of. I mean, that just alone, that ESC being towards the back like that, and because now it's angled, that I won't have to mess with the body to close down the car, to close the top down. That right there is huge. Because I can't tell you how many times that thing is just a pain. It's become natural. And maybe for the first couple of times, I'll have my finger ready to catch the body to pull it out, to slam it down. And that wasn't because of my battery tray that I stuck in there. That was because of factory. That was where they originally mounted their battery, is where I put my battery, and still had the same conflict. I was like, whatever. Perfect. It works. So, yeah, that's it. Just out here, trying to have a blast, trying to live a good life. Can't wait for my wife to get home. You can see I'm smiling ear to ear right now because I miss my wife. She has been gone for 4 days. Is it? Yeah, technically she's been gone for 4 days. I want her back. I want to eat. No. No, yeah, I do want to eat. I tell you, man, I tell you. I'll even share this with you, right? I'll share this with you. So she made these homemade, I think they're a biscuit. They're not rolls. They're like some kind of biscuit, right? And she made a homemade stew. And so she made these biscuits, right, to go with it. So the next time we had the biscuits, I think she made them for breakfast too. She sliced it right down the middle in the the long way. So that, you had a top and a bottom. And she, I think, put olive oil, or maybe she did butter or whatever, and she put it in a pan and she fried up the inside and the outside. Well, the inside and like half of the outside of those biscuits. And that even changed the way the biscuit tasted, because now it had just like a little bit of crisp on the surfaces where the pans were, right? Or where it contacted the pan. She leaves, right? She goes, and I think it was either that night or the next night. It might have been the next night. I obviously went to go eat. She made the stew, so I'd have stew, and whatever it was. It might have been the next day. I put those things in the pan. I did exactly what I thought she did. Put the heat on. And before you know it, the things are almost on fire. And, I mean, there was smoke. The fire alarms didn't go off, but there was smoke. I took them off the thing. They were as black as this controller. I even sent her the picture. And like, apparently I can't cook either. I think it's funny. She does something that's so simple, and it at least simple to her, and I go to try to replicate it, and I burn everything. So I didn't burn the stew, but I did overheat it, though. I think I actually overheated the stew, which cooked it further, which made it worse. I want my wife back. I've lost a couple of pounds while she's been away. And that's a positive too, though. Lost a couple of pounds while she was away because I'm eating less. All right, anyways. Ghost Rider, see you later, man. CSL Lorne, what's going on, guy? We'll see you later. Healthy Choices, right? Kurt's RC Challenge, Chris Cronin, you need a bashing party, bunch of people. Dude, that would be awesome. That really would. I totally agree with you. No quarters is going on, guy. Same to you. Here comes the pain. Hey, if I move next door or in the neighborhood, can I? Yeah, of course it can. Does it have a metal motor mount? This car? Yes. I think I don't know. I don't know if you're asking me or asking somebody else. Might be asking somebody else. Let's see. Mere Depth is here. Hanging with JD. Kurtz RC. Yes, no quarters. You're absolutely right on that. You think that's the best car straight out of the box. I think that's, you think you're talking about this. Good morning from California. Yeah, you guys are just waking up right now. Let's see. Cannot wait to see how that handles once you're able. Right. And keep in mind too, though, if you're still here, Mike, keep in mind these front and rear diffs are wasted. So even that is slightly taking away from the performance of the RC, but I totally shimmed it out to where there ain't nothing left. I'm putting a slight extra bit of stress on the bearings, but the bearings are also junk. The cases, the housings are junk. I don't think, is the front one junk? I don't know. You know, eventually things need to be replaced. So I'm not afraid to go ahead and shim that out to, shim it out to, it ain't going to be useless anymore. Nothing. It's all junk. But at least I'm still going to be able to rip it. And I feel, with the way this thing is just rolling, I feel that this thing is going to, especially with this RC Guy Garage amazing mod. There's supposed to be an echo with that, but I can't do the echo. With this new mod or new placement of things, having a centrally located balance of the vehicle, I'm hoping that's going to be a plus. Joe Girding. What's going on, guy? Hoorok, good morning. Sorry I didn't see you. Yeah, I don't know if my wife, I don't think she can have the thing on right now. But honey, if you're still on, I can't wait to have you back. Oh, here comes the pain. Isn't that funny? I showed why I couldn't have the receiver box towards the back or the front, technically, because there isn't enough room. That's crazy. The stars are aligning with this car still. So after watching all your videos on the DB Pro, oops. The comment disappeared. I think I said hello to everybody. After watching all the videos on the DB Pro, making me, dude, RC rollers, I've said it a billion times. If anybody, if this is the style of car that you like, if this is the type of driving you do, the tire and wheel conversion alone makes this car that much more capable than it even is out of the box. So I've said to people, if you've got it in your cart, if you're thinking about buying it, like if you're like, wonder if I should buy it, maybe I should just watch another video, stop wasting time. Just click the buy it button. You'll be so, well, I shouldn't say that. You'll be so happy that you did, because you're wasting time by not having one. You could be out there getting smiles for miles, but instead you're sitting there going, I wonder if maybe I should watch one more video. Stop wasting time. Just go get it. Just go get it. This, and my wife knows this, this car, for the first time, and I couldn't understand, I never could understand, why does somebody buy 2 of one RC? Like, I just don't get it. Like, why would you do that? This is untouched. Well, not untouched. I took the axle. I took the axle out of that side. I took the shock off of this side, and only because I broke a shock rod end. But this thing has never had a battery pack through it, and I don't expect to ever have one go through it. But that vehicle, because the DB Pro was such a performer, it is the first vehicle, and yeah, it's the first vehicle that I ever bought a second one of it in the other body, color, because of how amazing it was. And And I mean, like I said, that's maybe not for everybody. You know, maybe there are still people out there that are wondering, you know, why would you do that? And I can't answer it. If somebody likes Corvettes, if you could own 2 of them, well, why? One is good enough, isn't it? No. If you've got the money, get the second one. You get two smiles for miles right there, or 2 times the smiles for miles. Granted, that one's never going to be run, but I've been able to steal parts off it. During the pandemic, certain things weren't available, and I was able to use it as a parts car. And yes, it did kill me to do that. It did bug me to use that thing as a parts car. But it's only 1 axle, in which I do have. So these Techno shafts, it was Exo Cage did this. I think he was the first one that did it. These Techno shafts do fit. You just have to, unfortunately, which is the part that I don't like, unfortunately, you got to take out you got to take off the coating. So the coating that's on those actually makes it so it exceeds the bearing size or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what the heck it was. Something about it made it so that it didn't fit right. So, but I have them. But my shafts have been fine. I think it was a COVID issue. I think it was a COVID quality issue for some of the RCs out there. I think it was the laser nut. Yeah, that's what it was. That was another Horizon Hobby issue. The laser nut. Man. I don't want to remember that. All right. I'm going to get off of here. I'll see you next Tuesday. I'll see you next Tuesday. I'm getting off. So the germ, what's going on? 2 is better than 1, right? Yep. Yes, we'll be ready to have it. Facts. I have the original DB Pro with the upgrade kit, non-pro. Haven't ran into diff problems yet, but the screw that goes into the front bulkhead stripped out. So now it just fell. Oh, dude. Do what I've showed on I showed this on a video. Oh, I threw it away. Pretend this was if you got a Lexan body, like a Lexan body, or even if you have a zip tie, you got to use obviously the smallest part. You can even use like a sliver of wood. Actually, use a sliver of wood. It would probably work better. I use the very end of the zip tie. You can still use a zip tie. Use the very end of the zip tie, or take a razor blade and very carefully cut off a sliver of Lexan. When you cut off the sliver of Lexan, this is why it works better. When you cut off a sliver of Lexan, you got to keep it thin. Where you start your slice, it's obviously going to be the sharpest point, right? Make sure that the pieces, if I go like that, you don't know what I'm talking about. Make sure the piece is like this long. Like, so from the tip of your finger to the way your finger, bends. Cut it to that length. Make sure it's a sliver. But when you get to the end, have it be like a 16th wide. When you get to the end, stop and then just break it off. When you do that, you take the fat end, which is the broken off section, you slide it all the way in till it hits the back of the hole. Then that pointed section is sticking out. Then take your screw and just place your screw inside. And as you screw it in, the threads pressure and the threads keep it in place, and it will go in and basically cut new threads into the fatter end, because the fatter end is towards the back side of where you're actually bolting it to. So try that. You could use it, like I said, you could use a sliver of wood too. It does the same exact thing. You just need it to be able to compress. I use Lexan because it's easy. I try to zip tie first. It works, but I found that the Lexan actually works way better. So try that. That should fix it for you. What the heck is that? What did I do? Oh. Dalton. Earl came across the same thing, and he did a video about it today. And what you didn't realize, if you're talking about this car, it's because you didn't pay attention to the link in the description. Or maybe I didn't give you maybe you asked for one specific thing. Because sometimes when people ask for just a specific thing, I give them exactly what they're asking for. But in the link in the description of this video right here, you'll see there's 2 tires, and you got to buy the hex. Once you buy the hex is what fixes that. The hex is the perfect size for it. It does exactly what you need. The only thing you need to remember, and I've talked about it too, is you gotta, and I do it anyway, so it's not even an issue for me, and sometimes I forget those things. Something I will do that's regular for me, that is not regular for somebody else, every hex, even if it's a nylock, gets this stuff right here. So when you swap over to the tires and wheels, you have to change the hex as well. And it's in the link in the description. There's 2 tires, 2 tire choices. So I've got the tires that are on here now, and then I've got my other tires, which are not within arm's reach because I cleaned up. I got the other tires, which are a Traxxas Rustler or something like that tire. Yeah, that's why it's not spinning, guy. You didn't put the hex on. You didn't look in the description. In my description, there are links. Yes, there are 1,000 links. So I'm sorry. You'll have to scroll down. You'll have to look for DB Pro, but it's there. So get those hexes from Hobao and that'll work. There's probably other hexes that'll work. It's just that I've tried other hexes and they didn't work. These Hobao hexes work. Earl just did a video on it. And Earl just basically said, he was like, I was one of the people that skipped his video and didn't pay attention. But yeah, it's just all it is. It's a hex. Some people said you can use a washer. Of course you can. You can absolutely stack washers. Me, I would rather not. The only reason why I would rather not stack washers, I mean, you can do that in a pinch and you can do it to get by. But once you start stacking washers inside the hex of the wheel, you're effectively taking the hex out of the wheel. So in my personal opinion, I don't think that's the best course of action to go with. Keeping that hex fully seated inside that wheel, embedded up against the backside of where the nut's going to now screw on and apply more pressure, I feel you're better off having the hex fully engage the hex of the wheel. That's just my opinion. Like I said, I don't do things all the time normal, but I wouldn't recommend a washer. I just personally just feel you're stepping it out, getting less hex engagement. Might not matter with these because the hexes are deep. Might not matter, but it's just my personal opinion. So I think if you stepped it out, you just get less hex engagement, especially with the original factory DB Pro hexes. They're too thin. The stack of washers that you're going to throw on there, it wouldn't make sense. Just buy the hexes and be happy. Buy the hexes. Spend your money. I'm here to spend your money. So, or you can just buy the wheel that fixes the factory size hex. You kind of can't do that. The Hobao Hex links goes, oh, it still does that? You got to add, oh, you know what? All right, wait a minute. So you're saying right now, the link that's in there right now goes to a shock stay, Hobao Hex. Open. Ah, crap. I put the wrong stinking link in it. Okay, so how did I mess that up? So that was something that Earl had mentioned too. I can actually find it for you right now. So I have to go this way. The part number. So Hobao has been changing part numbers because they've been updating things. So unfortunately, I don't know that. All it is you got to add. Wonder if I can go into car parts. I actually think it's for the TT. All it is literally two numbers on the end. It's either 2 zeros. Let me back out of here. I'm on my iPad. It takes me forever to use this thing. Come on. (22106), where it's supposed to be. Come on. I cannot. I don't know how to use my iPad here. Hex. Is it this one? I'll have to correct one of the links. All I can say is I know one of the links works because I double checked it. Because I don't think it's that hex. You know what? I'll just end the live right now, and I'll correct the description. I don't know how I messed that up. Because I was able to send. Am I able to back out of here? What happens if I back out of? Am I able to do more stuff than? Am I able to do more stuff on here? Like, can I end this live stream? All right. I'm going to try. I got to try this. Guy, what is that? For fixing links. Are you kidding me, Guy? Thank you. Holy crap. Owen Rogers, man. Thank you. All right. Can I back out of my live stream without ending it? I don't know what I'm doing here. Wait a minute. If I back out. Oh, no, it won't let me. All right. It won't let me back out of the live stream. What I'll do is when this live stream is over, I will post the link to the hex. It's a specific hex that you have to get from Hobao. I just sent the link to Earl. I just can't get to it because it's on my phone. I thought I fixed it, though. Obviously, I didn't. But all it is literally what they did is they added 2 numbers to the end of the link because they're revising their part numbers. So it's screwing up stuff. So anyways, all right. I'm just going to end this live right here. Owen Rogers, dude, thank you for that. Definitely appreciate it. No, you can't back out. Sea Stone, man, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Shaman, you drink more coffee? Yeah, pretty much. Country Boys RC, what's going on, man? Thank you. Peter, the Hobao Hex links. All right, sorry. Like I said, so when I'm done, I'll fix the link. I can't control companies and why they change part numbers when they do. All I can say is they're a bunch of bastards sometimes. All right, so thank you guys for coming to this COVID and Coffee. I called it COVID and Coffee, Losi DB Pro behind the scenes, and that's really what it was. It was basically just showing you, how my mind works. That it's the stuff that gets cut out of videos, the ahs, the arms, all that stuff that I threw at the end of that one video, because nobody wants to hear that. If somebody's constantly going so, which I always do, I try to minimize it by just cutting out that one little tiny word, so that I can sound better edited in the video. So that's it. I've got to leave in a half an hour to go pick up my wife. Yay, she's coming back. I'm pumped. So anyways, I'm out driving to go to an airport. Hopefully you guys are safe. Hope you guys are happy. You got a roof over your head. You got food in the fridge. Don't be afraid to be giving all year round. Be giving all year round. Be giving of your time. You know what I mean? You don't know what people are going through, so don't be so quick to punch somebody in the face unless they need it. Don't be so quick to take that parking spot. Don't be so quick to, just don't be so quick. Just go easy. Live a better, happier life with less stress. That's the way I try to do it. I mean, come on. I drive Big Black. Big Black knows how to get out into traffic in a bunch of ways. Do I make use of that? No. Do I let other people go before me? Yep, I do. And some people are unappreciative, and that's okay. I feel better. I feel better that way. So I'm out of here. Thank you guys for coming, and we will catch you on the next live stream or the next video or whatever. The next video you'll see obviously is going to be, back on this DB Pro, showing you basically everything that you guys already know. So it's probably not even a video you're going to want to watch. So I just killed that video. So anyways, there will be a running video at some point of this car. I'm going to spend time with my wife today, so I'm not going to be doing any of this RC junk. But maybe actually, she's got the day off tomorrow, too. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll do like another COVID and Coffee or something. So, RC Rollers, thank you for that. Definitely appreciate it. Happy day to everybody out there, whether you celebrate the holidays or not. Yeah, I'm out. All right, thanks. We'll see you guys later.